Alright guys, the high tunnel is complete. Trying to figure out how we're going to deal with the roll-up sides here, because one thing I should have done, and you know, Kathy was trying to warn me about this, and I was just like in go mode. But we should have put those eye hooks. I mean, we're still going to put the eye hooks on here, but the eye hooks are basically what's used to put the string, and the string goes kind of like up and down and up and down, and it kind of just protects the side roll-ups from moving around so much with the wind, because the only thing that's really holding this down is the pipe that's on the end of that plastic. So here what I should have done was put I think we were deciding to put the eye hoop or whatever you call it here, and then put the wiggle wire track here. Yeah, so, but anyway, so it looks good. You know, I'm pretty happy with it. Putting that plastic on over the top was basically, I just laid the roll here. I put it on a pipe so that it can easily roll. I put a couple of center blocks on either end so it can be levitated. Not levitated, but off the ground. So when I'm pulling it upwards, the plastic, I mean the whole roll was being pulled up and all the way across. Halfway done, ooh, it gets really hard to pull that plastic over, and then you have to kind of like go over, and it droops down. But yeah, long story short, it got put up. So let's take a look outside, see what's going on. I got my little door here. So here we are inside, and this is extremely well put together. I got to give these guys, and I got this whole system from Notes Supply. Nice bunch of guys out there. You know, I got a lot of respect for those guys, because they know what it's about. Real work, real quality stuff. And anyway, so as you can see, this has some really good structures. You got purlins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you got the support beams right here that go from the top to this middle bar. Same on that side, and you have all these bars going all the way down. So this is really well secured, and I like the fact that those main pipes that are going in the ground are pretty close. They're not like the other one I had where they were like 7 feet apart, and that's not enough to prevent winds from lifting this thing up in the air. Because I kid you not, when on the other greenhouse we had them basically like here, and the other pipe was like right here, and on a windy day, that whole thing, you could see the whole wood was just lifting up from the winds. And so I just had to put additional posts in the ground. So I'm really happy. So yeah, right now we got the everything set up in here so we can start planting. We're not done yet. We just basically started off bringing wheelbarrows of compost in here, and that's what you see here. In the beginning, I put cover crop all through here before I even laid the compost down, and I only did that to help compete with the weeds, because out here in Delaware, and if you're in Maryland and anywhere on the East Coast, on the Maryland side, you know about weeds. It's just hella crazy. I know people in Cali who don't have as much issues with weeds, but yeah, this is the compost, which I get from a local compost facility that recycles. Really good stuff. So, and the warm weather in the month of February made this stuff grow more. So this has been really strange weather. So anyway, I wheelbarrowed the stuff in one row at a time. So now that I got that done, I had to come back in here and weed whack because the cover crop was just really tall, and I don't even know if I really should have done the cover crop. But you know, I'm just trying to do the right thing. So everyone says, oh, you got to do cover crop, you know, build soil. You know, I get that, but it's expensive. You don't get your money back out of that, you know, unless you're talking about building a lot of soil. That's why wood chips, I love the wood chips, because at least I can get that, you know, for free. And as it decomposes, you know, it'll become really good soil. I didn't do that in here. So the objective here, so right now we got these tied down because I don't want these drip tapes moving. And the goal is to put weed cloth down, because in the bottom line, we're going to have tomatoes, zucchini, no, tomatoes, big tomatoes, small cherry tomatoes, eggplant, and peppers in here. We at some point are going to do raised beds along the ends here, but not dealing with that right now. We're just dealing with growing enough in here to have enough for ourselves and for CSA members, you know, to have early harvest. So we're going to put weed cloth down on all this. I'm going to punch holes in, probably with a knife. I don't want to burn them in. I've seen people burn them in, but if I were to burn it, I'd have to like bring it to some other location where I'm not burning it on the soil. I have to burn it like on the street somewhere, mark the holes, burn it, bring it back here, because I don't want to. Because if you're going to burn that stuff on top of your soil, that's going in your soil. So that's something to think about. If you're not organic, you probably don't care. But me, I'm organic. I'm trying to keep this stuff as clean as possible. So looking good so far. So I just want to mainly show you guys the structure. Really happy with what we did. And we didn't go with the baseboard on the top. I've seen a lot of people use baseboards, but when I talked to the guys where we got this from, and they said this will be enough to directly put on to the pipes. And so that's what we did. It's really sturdy. The wiggle wire track, that's the wiggle wire track, sorry. Last time we did the 2x6 here, and then the wiggle wire track over top of that. But this time we just decided to go with that and save some money on wood and just put the 2x6s on the bottom. Looking good so far. We got 7 rows in here, and we're going to be planting in end of March, probably, maybe mid-March, depending on the weather. But yeah, this weather's really funky, and I was expecting it to be really cold. It did. We did get an early freeze a whole month earlier than I expected, but now we're back into the warm temperatures. But yeah. So anyway, good stuff, good structure. And we're going to be growing lots of stuff out here. I left this closed because I'm not planning on bringing a tractor in here. We're not doing tilling. But in case I do, at some point, I did leave a little bit of an open, a wider frame there in case I do want to come in there. Same thing with the other side. But yeah, so far so good. I got my hydrant in, and I still got to connect the lines to the outside, which I'm going to do that next couple of days. That's right there. So basically that line, that's polytubing. I think it's 1 1/4 thickness, and that's going right into that, and that's 3 feet deep in the ground. So it goes right down in there underneath here. You can kind of see how I ended it there, and then from there I'm going to take I did this by hand. I shoveled by hand, but I think what I'm going to try to, I was going to try to rent a trencher, but most of the guys out here that rent trenchers, they're always in service. There's always some money issue with it, so I just don't have time. That's it, guys. I'm going to keep this short. I'm out of here. Peace out. Keep growing.